A very good morning and welcome again to our Geo Akash Ganga channel. So friends, in our last lecture, we already seen the concentric zone model. So most of the geographers criticize that concentric zone model and it give to a birth of a sector model. So sector model, it is an extension of concentric zone model. So now let us see the sector model. Homer Hoyt is an economist who propounded the sector model in year 1939. I already told you sector model it is an extension of Burgess model. Hoyt theory was mainly based on residential rent patterns. He found that land rent changed by sector and not in the form of concentric rings. The value of land or rent decreases towards the boundary region because in the CBD region most of the infrastructural facilities are available like food, water, education, grocery shops, entertainment, employment, and thus people come towards the CBD and ultimately population increase and thus land value also increase in urban area and the land value decrease towards the boundary region because lack of infrastructural facilities. As we witness the population growth, it is becoming more and more essential to understand how cities work. This model based on study of 64 American cities. Studies on pattern of urban growth, urban settlement and land use are of great interest to the concerned people. And Homer Hoyt argued that cities do not develop in the form of simple rings. Instead, they have sector. Homer Hoyt in 1939 suggested that few activities grow in the form of sector which radiates out along the main travel links. Activities in a sector are considered to be the same throughout the sector because of the purpose or functions it serves. Land use within each sector would remain the same because like attracts. Like the high class sectors stay high class because it would be most sought after area to live so only the rich people could to afford live in this area. The industrial sector would remain industrial as the area would have typical advantage of railway lines or river. This sector can be housing, industrial activities, etc. The sector grows along railway lines, highways and rivers. Let us see the component of Hoyt model. First zone CBD, Central Business District. It is placed at the center of the urban area. This area is often known as downtown and high-rise buildings. Inner city area or downtown area is complex and dynamic organisms. It represents many layers of historic growth of many generations, impact of cultural and traditions of man who inhabited the city as tourists. As the city expands and modern technology and scientific innovation transform the style of living and also the structure of the city, open spaces were being eaten up, built up forms resulting in congested and unhealthy environment. Next zone, zone of transition and industries. In this zone, industries are represented in the form of a sector radiating out from the center. This forms sector because of the presence of transport linkage along which the activities grow. Presence of railway lines, rivers or road would attract similar activity and thus a continuous corridor or sector will develop. Apart from the industries, this area also serves as a residential area for lower class workers. And actually, those people or workers living in this area, their living conditions is very bad because of proximity to industries. Third zone consists of low-class residential. Generally, low-income groups reside in this area. Narrow roads, high population density, small houses with poor ventilations exist in this area. Roads are narrow and often connect to the industries where most of the people in this sector works. Closeness to industries reduces the travel cost and thus attracts industrial workers. Environment and living conditions are often inadequate because of the proximity to factories. Next zone, zone of middle class residential. This area has middle income groups which can afford more sustainable travel costs and want better living conditions. The activities of people residing in this area consist of different activities and not just the industrial work. It has more linkage with CBD along with some linkage to industries. This area has the most significant residential area. Last and fifth zone is high class residential. This is the outermost and farthest area from the downtown. Wealthy and affluent people live in this area. So generally, mainly wealthy and affluent people live in this area. This area is clean, has less traffic, quiet and large houses. Corridor or spin extending from CBD to the edge has the best housing. Now let us see the significance of Hoyt model. First, ecological factors plus economical range concept to explain the land use pattern. Second one, Homer Hoyt traced on the role of transportation routes in affecting the spatial arrangement of the city. Third, both the distance and direction of growth from the city center are considered as well as being location of industrial and environmental amenities values as determinants in the residential place. For example, sector of high-class residential area tends to be grow towards higher ground. Sites with a better view, more open space, the home of influential leaders within the community and existing outlying smaller settlements. Next one, limitation of sector model. First, only railway lines are considered for the growth of sector and do not make allowance for private cars. Second, it is monocentric representation of cities. Multiple business centers are not accounted for in this model, and physical feature also may restrict or direct growth along specific wedge. And also there is no reference to out of the town development. Let us see what type of question asking in NET and UPSC examination. Question number first, who propounded the sector model? Option number first A, Homer Hoyt. So you already know about the answer. Homer Hoyt, who propounded the sector model in year 1939. B. Mackinder, who propounded the heartland theory in year 1904. C. Spikeman, who propounded the rimland theory in year 1942. And last one, D. Harris and Ullman, who propounded the multiple nuclei model in year 1945. And the correct answer is Homer Hoyt, who propounded the sector model in year 1939. Question number second, Hoyt model was mainly based on option number first, transportation pattern, second, residential rent pattern, C, third, occupational pattern, and last one, regional pattern. And the correct answer is residential rent pattern. Question number third, which one of the following sequence of land use is correct according to Homer Hoyt model? If you see, all the options look like a correct, but if you see carefully in the sector model diagram, CBD is always first zone and high class residential zone is a last. So C in the option CBD is first in all options, and see in the next one high class residential in the option first they given a high class residential in the middle, so it is wrong. In the second option they given a high class residential in the last, so it is correct. Then in the C they given a high class residential in the second, so it is also wrong. And the option D they given a high class residential here, so it is also wrong. So option second or B, it is correct answer. If this video helped you in your study, then please do like, and if you not already subscribed, then do subscribe. If you didn't like the content, give a thumbs down. Okay, see you with next lecture.